Now, for more than an hour and a half, Vice President Harris and former President Trump went toe-to-toe on the debate stage down in Philly last night before coming up here to New York this morning.
The whole world was watching this. It was combative, covering everything from the economy to abortion and immigration. Robert Moses breaking it down for us. What's going on?
Rosanna and Kurt, this may have been the only debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. In an interview just this morning on Fox News, the former president said he is not inclined to do another. Last night, Vice President Harris immediately went on offense, and for much of the night, former President Trump played defense.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Have fun.
That handshake was as friendly as former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris acted. For 90 fiery minutes, they got personal. She pressed her attacks early and often.
On this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. Donald Trump has no plan for you.
Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country.
The former president and current vice president clashed on abortion.
He will sign a national abortion ban.
It's a lie. I'm not signing a ban.
The Second Amendment.
She wants to confiscate your guns.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
And immigration. Former President Trump claimed that migrants in a small town in Ohio have been eating pets.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Told by moderator David Muir that the city manager said that claim is unfounded, the former president was undeterred.
I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food.
You talk about extreme.
They also argued about one of his favorite subjects, his rallies.
I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. People don't leave my rallies.
Asked to acknowledge his defeat in 2020, the former president refused.
No, I don't acknowledge it at all.
Microphones were live only for the candidate whose turn it was to speak, and muted when the time belonged to the other candidate, which deprived the vice president of a moment like this one from back in 2020.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Last night, the former president needled her about it.
I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Taylor Swift, of course, supplied the biggest development on debate night. She posted this picture for her 283 million Instagram followers and endorsed Vice President Harris, calling her a steady-handed, gifted leader. She signed her post childless cat lady. That, of course, a reference to a now infamous comment that former President Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, made back in 2021, lamenting how the country was run by, quote, a bunch of childless cat ladies who were miserable at their own lives. Rosanna and Kurt, back to you.